Hello students, so today we will continue with the chapter saying in the mind, but before that we'll do a quick revision. So this is taken from Nina Boden's book Sidelines, and she said that she wrote this story wrote the book for a girl named Jenny who was 7 years old, and she was a little bit blind. And then she said that Jenny's family, her family and everyone, they went on a vacation, on a holiday to the island of Mull. And then Jenny's elder brother, he also had eye disease. He had infantile glaucoma, and he could only see with one eye, and his one eye was made of glass. And so he was a very naughty boy, and he used to use the glass eye as a prop or as a tool to scare other people. So I hope you are clear till that. And then one day the author, that is Nina Boden, she decided to bath him, and that time he took out his eye and then chased her around the bathroom to wash it. He knew that she was scared, and so he himself took out the eye and was chasing her, and to prove that yes, you are not scared, and wash my eye just like his mother. So we'll continue from this part. Jenny had less sight than her brother. She could only see a little light and shade. One day the other children decided to climb to a particularly enticing cave they had spotted on the face of a cliff that was too steep for Jenny and for me too, since I was going through a vertiginous period. So she's telling that Jenny had less sight than her brother. Less sight means her brother, he could see with only one eye. So Jenny, she could not see properly at all. Okay, little light and shade means she could see very less. Okay, like it's not like she can see properly. It would be very like you can say she was almost blind, but she could see a little. So one day when they were on this trip only, so all the other children, they decided to climb to a particularly enticing cave they had spotted on the face of a cliff. So it means enticing means something very attractive or alluring. Means for example, once you enter a shop or something and you saw your most wanted toy, the toy that you like, and then you want it, right? You want hi aisa chahiye. You feel like that's the same thing for the children also. They saw in this is cliff. It is like steep mountain, and they decided to enter the cave. There was a cave there. It was a steep cliff, so they decided to go there to the cave. But it was not possible for Jenny and the narrator. Hers. Why Jenny? It was because she was blind. She could not see properly, so it would be difficult for her to climb that cliff. So that is why she did not go. And the narrator is saying that she was going through a vertiginous period, meaning a vertigo is a disease, okay, where you feel very like dizzy, or you feel like you will faint at any moment, like chakkar aate rehte aisa wala, you lose balance. So she was going through that period. So she and I walked around the log instead and talked about the old story of the locals. The locals had told us about the lake horse. So now what did they do? All the others, they went up to climb the cliff. So what did they do? Both the narrator and the little girl Jenny, they were walking around that the lake. Okay, they were walking around because something they had to do, right? Because the others were there, so they too were busy there. They were walking around and talking, and then they were talking about the lake horse. Okay, like every other place there is some kind of story, right? Like when you say sometimes it will be hatu kotha types, right? Because even in that place also there was a story going around that about a lake horse. It is telling that a great horse that was to be sometimes seen sometimes galloping on the surface of the lake, a greedy creature of mist and terror that took souls to keep it company in the deep water. It's telling that there was a lake horse inside that lake, deep inside, and then at times, not always, at times it could be seen galloping. Horses gallop, okay, so it could be seen coming around in the surface, and then it was very scary and terror, frightened kind of thing, because everyone else would be frightened seeing it. And then in mist, mist is like very foggy, and then so it was a very frightening creature, and then it used to come out at times, and it used to take the souls of the people who are moving around the lake. And then why? Because the lake horse was also very lonely down there, okay, inside the lake it used to stay, it seems, and then it was very lonely out there. So at times it used to come out and take out the souls of the people, and to keep him company down there. Okay, just like what if you say it is just like a story that goes around, like superstitions, you can say, like, you talk about this jalpari and all, like they also stay inside it and sometimes used to come out, same like this, even they also had this kind of story. So Jenny and I decided that this was a story to frighten children and keep them away from the dangerous log. So both the narrator and Jenny decided that no, this is just a story. The story was told so that they could frighten the children, because children, if they come here, they will not listen to anyone, they will move around on their own, and it will be, the lake is very deep, they might fall and they might get drowned. So that is why they are saying that this is a story told so that they will not come around and they will be scared. Okay, otherwise they will do on their own many naughty stuff. So that is why the story is told to the children to make them scared so that they don't come near the water. Then she shied. They won't let me do dangerous things. And she here is Jenny. Okay, then Jenny sighed, means what, she was very deep, make out a loud sound of sadness and tiredness. And then she said that they won't let me do dangerous things. They means her family and her friends. They will never let her do dangerous things. Why? Because she could not see properly. Okay, to climb the mountain or to climb the cliff, it is a dangerous thing for her, so no one will allow her to do that. And she was sad for that, because she don't get to do dangerous things. She had wanted to climb to the cave with my children and her brothers and sisters. So even Jenny, she wanted to climb the cliff with my children. Here my is with the narrator's children and even Jenny's own brothers and sisters. Obviously she is also a little girl, she also wants to do all this stuff, she also wants to take part in the adventures, but she could not because she could not see properly, so no one allows her to do those stuffs. She shied again. Then she said, I wish you'd write a book about a blind girl, Nina. Then she shied again. Again she let out a sound of sadness and tiredness, and she said, and that point she said to the narrator, I wish you'd write a book about a blind girl, Nina. Okay, then she said, okay, can you write a book about a blind girl? Wish, matlab, I hope one day you will write a book about a blind girl. So here we see that in the very first we saw that she was talking about that she wrote a book to please a blind girl of 7, and then she was mentioning about this holiday trip to the island of Mull. And now we know why she was mentioned the trip to the island of Mull. Why? Because during this trip only the girl Jenny ask her to write a book about a blind girl. Okay, and that is why they mention the trip to that island, or the holiday trip to that island of Mull is very important, because during this trip only the girl requested or asked her to write a book about a blind girl. I hope it is clear to this point.